All right. Hi, everyone. Thanks so much for getting on the call tonight. This call, we're going to be focusing on how to share our story, both our product and business story through the summer months to keep our momentum going. And there's going to be a bunch of different things that we're going to talk about, but really the call of this, or the focus of this Zoom call is for you guys to feel encouraged enough and supported and have the confidence to have natural conversations with people that you're going to interact with over this summer. And as you start to think about, your summer plans, you want to be thinking about the people that you're going to be engaging. And when they see you, are they going to know what's going on in your life? Are they going to be able to ask you questions about, Juice Plus, or per se, what have you been doing lately, based on either the life that you're living now, what you're posting on social media, maybe what your kids have been sharing, or are they going to have no clue that you're doing anything health related? And I think that's the biggest thing, is that when you go into the summer months and you see people that you are typically not in your daily life, either at school or at the gym or wherever it is, you want to be having these candid conversations that are very organic in nature. And the first thing I kind of wanted you guys to be thinking about is, what does your life look like? Is it a true reflection of our mission statement? Are you living, our mission out on a daily basis? Are you, packing healthy snacks for your kids when they go to camp? Are you, offering, good suggestions when you go to picnics or barbecues? Are you bringing that healthy side dish? Are you asking for recipes? Are you posting interesting things on Facebook that really portray who you are and what you're trying to attract? Because we can't expect people to come into our life unless we are actually putting it out there to the universe and trying to attract these people in. And I always think that, if you were to look at somebody's social media, or if you were to look at their kitchen, for instance, would that really reflect who we are as Juice Plus people and who we are about inspiring healthy living? So, with that, and if you are doing that, that is amazing. And that just makes it so much easier for you to share your story with people when they see you. Think about, being the example to others and demonstrating to others, what healthy living looks like. They will be attracted to you if they see that you're posting tips on how to keep your kids healthy this summer. Maybe they've been struggling with snack ideas for camp, but yet you're posting stuff, and they're going to look at you as somebody that could be a great mentor and role model, and might see you at the pool and say, wow, thanks for that post the other day. That was great. And that's just an opportunity for you to start this dialogue between somebody about, it's really cool. Ever since I hooked up with this great community of people, it's really heightened my awareness of my kids' nutrition, and I'm forever grateful for that. So notice in that quick conversation, you didn't really talk about Juice Plus, but yet you intrigued them a little bit about this community that you're now involved with and how they're supporting you in this new health journey that you have. So when you first think about how you're going to expose yourself to somebody about Juice Plus and the product, the one thing that I always encourage people to do is never to say Juice Plus, is to never say it's fruits and vegetables in a capsule form, or, I work for this amazing company called Juice Plus. Have you heard of it? Because right away, we're starting to maybe share a little bit more information than somebody wants. We need to have a natural conversation with somebody. You want to live the mission, but then the next step would be definitely to stoke the curiosity. Get them to ask you the questions about, what are you doing right now? I saw on, your Facebook page that you posted something about this 10-day shred, or I saw this awesome smoothie that you're posting, or, there's this garden thing that you're growing. Like, what is that? Those are the things that are going to give you this natural opportunity to share Juice Plus. And, one thing that I remember when I first started in, the business is, everybody would say, well, how do you get customers? And I say, I listen to what people are talking about, and I wait for the opportunity to jump in there with a one simple sentence statement. And one of them that I can share with you is that I had a friend who was complaining all the time about her children being sick. They were on antibiotic all the time. And I finally said to her, I said, I know, I feel your frustration. My son was sick for the first year and a half of his life, And I'm so grateful that I got him on a path to better health. And I will never, turn back now after starting everything that we started. And I just ended it there. And she kept asking me questions and asking me questions. And at the end of the conversation, she developed a trust and realized that I was speaking from my heart and that I was being genuine and that I was not about selling Juice Plus to her. So, stoke that curiosity. Another great one too is that if you do post pictures of your tower garden, for instance, my tower garden for right now is going crazy with fennel. And I have been asking almost every single person that I know, do you have any fennel recipes? And they're like, fennel? Why? That's an odd thing to ask. And I'm like, oh, my garden is going crazy and I just need, some fennel recipes. And I show them, I say, because I've never grew fennel, and I'll show them a picture and I'll say, is this what it's supposed to look like? Do I eat the bulb? Do I eat the leaves? And it's this great conversation that happens. And then they're like, well, what are you growing it on? I've never seen that. What is that? So it's allowing for these natural interactions to occur. And I think you also have to always have your expectations in check. Think about how many times you had to be exposed to Juice Plus, whether it was a product or whether it was a business. Nobody, or a very small percentage of people, are going to say, yes, sign me up today. That makes 100% sense. So it's a series of exposures. I think one of the things that I learned the most was that some people, it takes 4 to 5 different exposures to Juice Plus for them to actually start to understand it and find the value for themselves. So just because they're not engaging right away and filling out the order form does not mean that that conversation is over. It opens up an opportunity for you to follow up with a new conversation. Maybe the next conversation is about inviting them to an event that is coming up, or ask them if they would like to join a call, or putting them on our One Simple Change page so that they can be exposed to the community that we have. But the conversation should never just stop. That is the time, the first conversation is the gateway to the next conversation and to the next one. And the biggest thing is always saying to people, I hear you saying this all the time, and, perhaps I could share some information with you. Would you like to hear some more information about X, Y, and Z topic, whatever it is? So make sure that you are stepping into your story too when it comes about Juice Plus. I feel like I have 7 to 8 different stories depending on who I'm talking to. And I think you need to realize that all these people that you're going to interact over the summer are probably connected to you in different ways than your typical daily life at school. I can think of people that are now at their pool versus not being at their pool now, or people going to the beach and engaging that lifestyle down there. So make sure that when you are sharing your story, it's connected to that person personally. I know that I have friends that have a lot of GI issues, and sometimes when I'm engaging somebody that I know has a history of a sour stomach or IBS or anything like that, one of the things that I will definitely say to them is that I'm truly grateful that I no longer suffer from reflux. And I was on a medication for, probably 2 years. Every month I would take a pill because my reflux was so bad. And now I'm so grateful that I have my health back. I don't have to avoid my favorite foods like chocolate and wine anymore, because somebody took the opportunity to share with me how to get 30 different fruits and vegetables into my body every single day. And that has truly transformed my health. Period. Done. Over with. What are they going to naturally ask you? We stoke that curiosity. They're going to say, well, what was that? What did you do? How did you change, your health and by flooding your body with 30 different fruits and vegetables? And how did you get 30 different fruits and vegetables in? So it opens up this opportunity for this conversation. So when you guys are creating your stories, if you have not written down your story, I would encourage you to write down your story. Take some time, write it out, and edit it out. The other thing is when you are writing out your story, think about 3 or 4 different versions of that. Because if you've been on the product for a long time, I'm sure your experience has changed over time. So step into each individual experience in each individual story and have different opportunities and different stories to share with different people. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense for you guys. The other thing is, after you have exposed somebody to your story, what's next? Many of you do an amazing job of sharing your story, And you probably feel great that you took that leap of faith and you shared it with somebody that you knew Juice Plus could really make an impact on. But what's the next step? Do you let that go, or are you following up with them as soon as possible? You know, one of the best things that you can do after you expose somebody to Juice Plus or a prospect is ask for them, when can we connect again about this? I think, you know, you and I are going to find the root to whatever your health concerns are. You know, I'd love to connect with you next week, and maybe we can, you know, talk about the video that I'm going to send you and see what questions you have. So make sure you are following up with them in a genuine way. You can either follow up with them, you know, through a video, a team call. I know our call that we have on Monday nights is a great way for you to expose people to the amazing health, you know, advisory board members that we have with our business and with our product line. So that's a great way to share. One of my favorite things that I started doing now is I have always invited any prospects onto my One Simple Change page, because I want them to get the sense of our community. And as we go through the summer months, you know, those Facebook pages are going to be our lifeline, you guys. If we are not staying interacted on those, our customers are not going to feel engaged. Us as a team, if we're not interacting on Team Freedom and posting our successes and highlights, and every time we share a story or anytime we place an order, you're going to feel alone in this mission. So don't feel that on our team Facebook page that you are not allowed to post. It's not just for leadership to post. Everybody should be posting anything that they want to share, successes, any type of opportunity that they feel that everybody would benefit from. You should be posting on that Team Freedom page. So following up with people after you have that series of exposures is always great. We have three-way calls that you can do with people. We have our Facebook events, our One Simple Change, a video. You know, are you doing a 10-day shred? Are you doing a T30 program? Do you have a salad in a jar? Whatever it is, I think, you know, letting them know that there's all these different ways that you can experience Juice Plus through different events, or even just meeting with somebody, is always a great way to kind of validate the exposure, basically. So one of the things that I wanted you guys to think about as you are sharing your product story is also the opportunity to share your business story. And when you're thinking about sharing your business story, you know, the biggest thing that they're going to want to hear is, why did you do it? Why did you say yes to the Juice Plus company? And they're going to want to know what your experience has been with the Juice Plus company. So, you know, immediately think about, you know, why you said yes. So after you are done writing your product story, I then want you to start thinking about, what's your business story? Why did you say yes to this? So you could simply think something like this. Once I started experiencing Juice Plus, I'm reading my business story, by the way, just so you know that, because I wrote it out today. Once I experienced Juice Plus, I naturally wanted to share it with others. I really loved their mission. It was very in sync with my goals as an educator, and I just wanted to be a part of a community that was so health focused again. I would love to invite you into this business and for you to learn more about what I do and the people that I work with. Can I send you some information? Period. And that was it. So what is your business story going to say about your experience? Why did you say yes? And what do you love so much about it? So when you're writing your business story, you're going to be writing about your experience. You're going to be writing about why you want to share it with others. And then you're going to ask them to join you in this mission. And who would you share your business story with? Anybody. We never want to limit anybody or have any type of, you know, thought that this business couldn't work for anybody. I'm always surprised when I expose somebody to the business and they actually are interested. So don't ever make a decision for somebody because you think they're too busy or that they don't have time or that this might not be a great opportunity for them. It's our raving fan customer that is going to be your next team member. They already know everything, and it's just a matter of getting them looped in now to our amazing mission-driven business that we have to offer to everybody. So one of the things that I wanted to do with you guys is I wanted to do a little bit of role playing. I know that I did this with my team a few weeks ago about how can you naturally share with somebody that you maybe haven't seen that much and that you're going to see this summer. And Whitney has a great story that she wanted to share with everybody about how to do that naturally. So Whitney, you and Jess want to role play this?
We can. I don't know if we need to role play it, Jess. I did unmute you, Potterton. But I feel like, it's really just, I wanted to share some examples, Jess. I think you've already done a great job of sharing a lot of examples, but like one example of how things kind of rolled out for me recently was I had noticed a friend of mine through church. She's somebody who I've gotten to know, kind of over the last several months. I don't know her super well. We were in like a community group at church together, but I noticed she was posting about getting healthier and like being more active. So I noticed that Facebook post of hers. And then I happened to post about the 10-day shred. And it was like around the same time she had posted how she was starting on like a no sugar, 30 days of no sugar. And so it just kind of like started this, like I feel like we were kind of looking at each other almost. And I think that happens on Facebook. We're drawn to, like to Jess's point, you're drawn and attracted to other people who are kind of focused on the same things as you. And so she actually said, hey, tell me about this 10-day shred thing that you're doing. So I sent her a link to it. And I followed up to say, did you get a chance to look at it? And she was like, you know what? I'm more of like an in-person kind of person. I just want you to tell me, about it. And so I just saw her at church again. And, it was just one of those things, like we were just chatting. I was talking to her and she's actually looking great because she's clearly like taking these positive steps for her own personal health. And I said, how are you doing? Are you still exercising? How's your 30-day or how's your no sugar thing going? And we just kind of got into this conversation about her and her health journey. And it was like, I had this amazing opportunity to just like encourage her. And then, it's one of those things like I could have just walked away, but instead I needed to continue that follow-up because it wouldn't have been fair to her to not, again, kind of basically fulfill her request to learn more information about what I was doing, right? So I in this situation did say, have you heard about Juice Plus? Because I think sometimes it's helpful to know because some people have. And I said, what do you, she said, I've heard a little bit about it. I said, what do you know about it? She's like, really not very much. And I said, well, I would love to help you learn more about it. What's the best way for me to do that? And she was like, again, I'm like an in-person kind of person. I said, okay, great. Well, so when would be a good time for me to contact you about that? And she was saying weekends. And all of a sudden I was like, I know she rides bikes. I ride bikes. I was like, let's meet for a bike ride. One of my favorite ways to share Juice Plus is like during exercise. Because I feel like I'm actually, I'm also like, here's an example. I'm meeting a neighbor who I think, who knows? She's pregnant with twins. Like, I have no idea. She's a new neighbor. We're going to meet for a walk. Like, I just love to kind of create these opportunities to just be with people, build relationship, and then have an opportunity to really explore Juice Plus with them, and like to Jess's point, it's about having that initial conversation, finding out where their needs are, and then filling in through your Juice Plus story and things like that. So it's just, I feel like that's an example of how it's those ebbs and flows that Jess was talking about, how it started on Facebook and then it kind of got to like, it was a private message, kind of back and forth. And then it was a conversation and now it's going to be a bike ride, so that was kind of the evolution of it. And then at the same time, I have, another example of somebody who I actually proactively reached out to. She's an old coworker of mine that I know is kind of health focused. And I just texted her. I said, I have no idea if you'd be interested in Juice Plus. It was a private message through Facebook. I said, I have no idea if you'd be interested in this. It's helped my family get healthy. I know you're really into, your family is important to you, blah, 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 blah. Just quick little text messages. And she's like, yeah, send me some information. I sent her some information. And then she was like, I didn't see the pricing. Can you send me about that? And then I followed up. I said, what'd you think? Do you want more information? And I said, I could send you some samples. She's like, that would be great. I just sent her some samples. So now I'm going to follow up all of this via Facebook. I don't have a cell phone for her, an email, but it was all just kind of this back and forth via text. So I think that's an example of somebody who might not want to talk to me. And there's another example of somebody who wants to go for a bike ride with me, so I think it's just, just continuing to just create those opportunities. But none of this feels forced at all. These people are welcoming more information about it. And I think that's the key. We don't want to force it. That doesn't feel good to us. It doesn't feel good to them. But at the same time, if they're continuing to leave the door open to us, I feel like we owe it to them. I always call it prospect care. It's like customer care, but it's prospect care. It's kind of like, let's care for those people that want to learn more.
Right. Yeah. I think that's great, Whitney. And I think, obviously all that happened via social media. And I can't emphasize enough, you guys, how important it is to be active on there. If you are still not 100% secure or confident in, excuse me, what to be posting or how to be posting. Um, I'm going to post some bullet points of how you want to be sharing on social media, because really, we're going to be busy this summer, and, you're not going to have the opportunity to, maybe spend as much time as you would like to with going on bike rides with people and stuff like that, with your kids home and everything like that. So how are people going to know what you're doing and what you're engaging in so that you can keep these conversations going? You know, if you were to look at your social media account right now, would it reflect what you want to attract into your business? Would it reflect the people in your past or current, life to share the opportunity with them? If there's nothing on there about health and wellness, nobody knows what you're doing unless you are interacting with them one-on-one. And if that's the way that you do it, that is great. And that is totally, a way for you to continue on. But if you're struggling with it, it could be the fact that people just simply don't know what's going on. And then you're going to have to work a little bit harder about asking them about their life and finding out, are they in health and wellness? Are they, struggling with anything? And, one of the things that I always open up a conversation with is, how are you feeling? How's everything going? What have you been up to lately? How are your kids? Everybody healthy, everybody well. And it just starts this conversation that happens really naturally because I'm asking generally how they are. But it also lets me to see where they are. And you'd be surprised at how much people expose themselves when you haven't seen them in a while. Sometimes they just, do want to chat. So what I really want to focus is on, action steps. Now we've talked a little bit about, how to share with a prospect. And I don't want you guys to be hung up on exact verbiage. There is, you can't say the wrong thing to the right or the right thing to the, right thing to the wrong person. It has to be your own words, and it has to be coming from your heart. So don't get too scripted with your story. I think the point of writing down your stories, your product and business story, is for you to gain confidence in sharing it and to have an idea of how it's going to come up and be portrayed when the opportunity does present yourself. Because there are going to be people that are going to say, well, why did you start taking Juice Plus? Or why did you decide to join this mission? And you really want to have this passion behind when you share that story. And if you've never practiced it or wrote it down, you're going to fumble. And, that's okay if you fumble, and, but take the fumble out on the people on this call tonight. There are 11 of us here that would love to hear your story and would love to practice with you. And, one of your things that we really want to see everybody start doing is sharing our stories, product and business stories, on our Team Freedom page for all of us to help you. I need to refine my product and business story as well. So if everybody can start to post those, we can then help each other get better at it. And the more you post it and the more naturally you feel, it's like this amazing confidence and passion comes out that's going to keep this attraction and get the people that you want to come into your life. So we're going to definitely be sharing our stories on our Team Freedom page. So that's going to be our action step that everybody's going to be doing. Share your product and business story on Team Freedom. If you want, you can also share it with anybody on this call tonight, or maybe even your sponsor, or if you have a buddy that you've been working closely with, share it with them and role play with each other and make it sound as natural as you can. The other thing is, I think a lot of times why we struggle with sharing Juice Plus is that we might still be lacking confidence a little bit in the product or the business behind it. So what are you doing to build your business confidence and product confidence? Are you listening to our Monday night calls? We have these amazing Inspire calls on Team Snap with people's stories that will just blow your mind away. So, tapping into those. I remember when I first started, that Monday night call was my lifeline. I didn't miss that call. I still haven't missed a call in over 4 years because it just was my fuel. I mean, even the call tonight, I still get goosebumps thinking about the impact Juice Plus can have on cancer prevention and wellness. So whatever it is that kind of gives you that fuel, tap into it. And if you need information about where to, find these resources to help build your confidence, we can get that information for you too. The other thing is that, if you really are wanting to build your business, and you're sharing with prospects, and, you're finding that, this is becoming easy, could you set a goal for yourself to have 5 new customers every single month? If you really want to see your team grow and the amount of lives that you impact this summer, I challenge everybody 5 months for the next 6 months. The momentum and the emotional revenue you're going to get from doing that will be far greater than what you have ever expected. The amount of people's lives that you can change by you focusing on 5 people each month. Think about that. There's 11 of us on this call right now. That's 55 people this month we all could get healthy. Times that by 6 months. That's a lot of people that we're going to be impacting. So focusing on that 5 new customers every month will be a great way for you to get momentum going and get you rolling right into conference. So lastly, the last thing I wanted to talk about with you guys is I wanted to just see if anybody had any specific questions, or maybe they've been encountering people over the last few weeks since school has been out. And has anybody had an encounter with somebody that they just kind of got stuck and they weren't really sure how to share Juice Plus? Or I just want to open up the phones right now, Whitney, and computers, and unmute them in case people wanted to kind of,
I have a question.
Yeah.
So I was at the pool and I was telling somebody that I was, I just started like working, doing this new job thing. And she asked me, well, who are you working for? So of course, blah. So I didn't say it right off the bat. I said, I started in January with the product and Whole Foods, blah, blah, blah. But eventually at the end, I did say Juice Plus.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if someone asks you, how you tell them, if someone asks you, what are you doing? How do you tell them without saying Juice Plus?
Well, I think that's perfect. I think it's, when they ask you what company you're working for and what product you're taking, you obviously have to tell them the name of it. I think the whole point of not saying Juice Plus is, like in the second when somebody was like, oh, my kids are sick, and we jump back and say, oh, have you heard of Juice Plus? It's, been clinically researched to boost your immune system. Like, that's the setting where it's not appropriate to expose them just yet until they actually asked you the question, well, what are you talking about? What are you doing? Who are you working with? What product are you taking? Then yes, it's a perfect opportunity to share, exactly what you're doing. So yeah, I think it's fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just panic. People ask me, I'm like, okay, I'm not supposed to say it. I'm not supposed to say it.
No, I don't mean it like that.
Janine, it's Jessica Potterton. I'll jump in here too on that. I love when people ask that question now, because I love to share that, and I think I probably stole this from someone else and it made sense. I say I've partnered with a company whose mission is to inspire healthy living around the world, and I help people get their fruits and veggies into their body every single day. And that can open the conversation for more about, like, how do you do that? And I can say we have a One Simple Change program. We have nutritional products that help them bridge that gap between what they're supposed to get in. So it can lead into that conversation. But that's I think that I heard somebody say it the one time and I'm like, oh, that feels natural. I can say that. But I love the fact that I've partnered, because we don't work for anybody. We work for ourselves.
Right.
And we've partnered with a company whose mission is to inspire healthy living. So.
And you can say, and the company is called Juice Plus.
Yes, you can. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So when you're sharing, your business story, the 3 things you want to think about is your experience. So you have an amazing story, right? So my experience, if I'm Janine, I'm thinking to myself, I started in this product in January. I've had an amazing experience. I've seen my own health change. I naturally started sharing the product with people at my gym, with my husband, with my family and friends. Then I realized the company was, mission driven, just like Jess is saying. They're all about healthy living. It just made sense to me to join the company. Something that simple, because that's really the truth. You're not changing that, but it has to be your own experience that you share with them so that they can say, oh, that is right, Janine, because I've seen your health transform over the last 6 months.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So I'm saying these pieces, bits and pieces. I just have to put it all together
Yeah.
and not panic about saying Juice Plus.
Right. No.
Don't say it. Don't say it.
No. Say when they ask you. Don't throw up on them initially. That's what I mean.
Yeah.
And then, if the timing is right, sometimes what I will say to people is, after I, share what I do, I'll say, I love what I do. It's just truly my passion. And I'm trying to find people that have the same focus and passion that I do. Do you know anybody that maybe might be interested in, joining this mission with me, that, want to inspire other people to make healthy changes, that are wellness driven? And Whitney and I just did a call with a customer of mine who was a pharmaceutical rep. And at the end of the call, I said to her, I said, keep me in mind if you have other pharmaceutical reps that are looking for a plan B and, that are really trying to get more on the education side of nutrition and wellness, and, this might be a good fit for them. She goes, well, I'm not going to tell them. She's like, I'm going to do it with you first. And I was like, oh, this is it. She got it. So it's almost like when you dangle the carrot in front of somebody else and for them to share it with somebody else, they're going to want it first for themselves. Yeah. Anybody else have any other opportunities or prospects that they shared with that maybe they got kind of struggled with?
And it's crickets.
Yeah. Well, that means we need to start sharing more. We should have lots of stories to be sharing. Okay, well, guys, I know I didn't want to make the call longer than 30 minutes, so we're just about at 30 minutes. So really, let's start working on writing down our stories for our product and our business. The video I posted tonight on Team Freedom talks you through your story and how to post that. And I'll also post the one about your business story as well. And know that it shouldn't sound recorded. It shouldn't sound like, that you've been rehearsing. It's just for you to gather your thoughts a little bit so that when that person does ask you, you do have something to kind of share with them and you're not making it up on the spot. So let's post those stories on Team Freedom. If you have events on your calendar, feel free to share those with people, because that's a great way for anybody that has a prospect. If we know an event is coming up, whether it's a live event, a Facebook event, or whatever it is, it's a great opportunity for us to invite people. And know that any interaction with somebody is actually an event and that you're making a difference. So keep exposing and sharing and looking for these opportunities. And lastly, we're going for 5, you guys. 5 new customers every month. That's great. That would mean we would be changing a lot of lives. And you will see and feel that impact over the next 6 months if you continue to kind of really focus on sharing this summer.